Hello, Ways and Means Committee. Today is the 15th of May. It is the afternoon, 3:20. We are picking up S-278, which we have been sitting with for so much longer than we needed to. And I want to apologize to everyone for asking you to maintain the thread over many multiple, very short meetings. I am very hopeful we can finish it today and move on with our lives to a next week filled with committees of conference. So, when last we were gathered, we had a couple of questions about the tax portions of the bill, and Kirby Keaton is now here with us inside the computer. Kirby, if you can join us. Hi, thank you. I think people particularly, we don't mind if you're backlit, thank you. I think people were particularly curious about essentially sort of the workarounds to have cannabis businesses treated like businesses in the context of Vermont tax law.
Okay, so Kirby Keaton, Legislative Counsel. Should I walk through that section and then have some questions?
I think maybe bring it up, and explain it a little bit. That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, is everyone seeing it?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so we have section 24 of the bill that's in the household income definitions section of law. It is a change to the definition for modified adjusted gross income, which is used as the starting point in calculating household income. What this does is add a new subdivision that clarifies that any federal deductions or credits that are not included in a person's income because they're not allowed under 26 USC section 280E would be allowed to be included in adjusted gross income for purposes of this. So my reading on this is that it has these cannabis businesses starting at the same place as other businesses when their federal AGI kind of flows through to the household income calculation.
So Kirby, I mean, you just said when it flows through to the household incomes, are we talking about corporate and business income taxes or personal income taxes that refers to a pass-through income on a K-1 statement or something similar?
Yeah, this is going to typically be the pass-through income. Could be sole proprietor, but yeah, that's how this will end up on a person's household income when for purposes of a property tax credit. The business's income will flow through to their personal income tax return. But if without this change, I think the thing that the department has called out is especially the cost of goods sold deduction at the federal level, which means all of the money that's spent on to purchase inventory for the business would be in the business's income taxes and would flow through, but there would be no deductions for all that was spent on the inventory.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding of what's trying to be corrected here. From what I can tell, it would succeed. The cost of goods sold deduction would decrease the business's total AGI and therefore decrease the individual's AGI when it flows through or passes through, I should say.
Would it require a separate special form then?
I would guess that I would.
The tax firm is joining us, so you don't have to.
Yeah, the department might have to amend existing forms.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah, Representative Higley.
Drew, am I still under the understanding that this is strictly a cash business? No.
I think that's a good question for Pepper. There are, I mean, there are businesses in, like, cannabis businesses in Vermont are banked. Yes, there are banks in Vermont that operate, or credit unions. Credit unions. Yeah, I'm using bank
Because
loosely.
banks don't,
With apologies to the banks, I need to say, and with, yes, credit unions, yes.
But to that question, I think you're asking, like, will they take payment by methods other than cash?
And the answer is yes.
So like credit card processing.
again, I'm just looking at this income piece. And I mean,
I think those are good questions for Pepper, who knows more about how the field works. Any other questions for Kirby? Thanks, Kirby. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, well, hang in there. Hope you feel better.
Thanks, you too. Hey, Rebecca. Thank you also for joining us from remote locations. And anyway, hi.
Hi.
Do you have anything to say about this bill or about Curly's question or anything?
Yes, for the record, Rebecca Samaroff, Deputy Commissioner of the Vermont Department of Taxes. I'm taking this testimony from Abby, who was much more well-prepared than I was, but I know high level that I remember that we requested all these things and are psyched about them. And despite all of these things, I'm speaking about sections 24, 25, 26. To the question of like form management, I think that this can be handled in the instructions in the form, more so than like having to need a new line. And I did just also want to clarify that the cost of goods deduction, which a cannabis business owner would be allowed to deduct for the purposes of household income, is already allowed for both corporate and personal income tax. Those get taken out of AGI. So this is just really, it actually appears, I think, to be an oversight of like something that we weren't thinking about recommending, at least in Act 164, because that's where we allowed the deduction in all these other places. And it really presents like an equity issue, I think, for business owners. Like any other business owner would be able to take these deductions and consider that when, calculating the property tax credit. And cannabis business owners can't until hopefully this becomes law.
So Rebecca, you just said that current Vermont tax law does allow cannabis operations to deduct cost of goods sold?
For personal income tax and corporate income tax, yes.
So it's already in there. But it's the other business expenses, whether it's rent or other operating expenses? I'm just trying to understand what we're capturing in this.
We just want to mirror what's already allowed for personal income tax and corporate income tax in the household income format, which doesn't, the household income is built up from the ground up. Basically, it's not a derivation of like AGI necessarily. So it would just be mirroring that same, the treatment that allows because we just need to do a little proactive work in all of these spaces, personal income tax or corporate income tax or household income, because of what is not allowed at the federal level. And so this would be like making that same proactive adjustment in the household income space.
Okay.
I'm not sure that fully answered your question.
I'm just trying to figure out if this is specific only to what, Form 122 and the calculation of total household income?
This proposal would be specific to the calculation of household income, correct?
Okay, all right. Thank you. For the purposes of calculating the property tax credit. Yeah.
Anyone else for Deputy Commissioner Summer? Thank you. Anything else you want to say? Go ahead.
Well, do folks want to chat about either of the other two sections, 25 or 26? I'm happy to summarize or answer questions.
We went through them earlier this week, but if you have anything you want to say about them, they're okay.
We love them. I think it'll make everything easy and straightforward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Rebecca. Ed?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay. Ted Barnett, joint fiscal office. Since you've already gotten the walkthrough, I'm going to jump straight to the fiscal impact section. Bits and bobs kind of all over the place in terms of fiscal impacts. So first of all, just wanted to highlight that the package and transaction limits, in part, a lot of the bill initially was designed to make Vermont's regulated adult use market more attractive to people who may have been participating in the illicit market. So to the extent folks are the fact that they can buy more product in a specific package or make larger transactions at an adult use retail establishment, that may encourage them to participate in our market. And so it's tough to evaluate the fiscal impact of that, but it could increase the size of the market and consequently cannabis excise and sales tax revenues. The very minor part here is by increasing the possession limits, you could have fewer people who are getting cited for possessing cannabis. And so that would, these civil penalties are handled by the Judicial Bureau of the Vermont Judiciary. And so that revenue would go to the state minus a $12.50 administrative fee. It flows to the general fund, or sorry, the administrative fee flows to the Court Technology Special Fund, but JFO doesn't estimate the fiscal impact of changes to fines and penalties. The event permits in Section 5 would generate a maximum of $5,000 annually. Of which that revenue would be split between municipalities and the Cannabis Regulation Fund. And that $5,000 would be generated for 2 years that the permits are in effect. Section 10A, which is the reduction of fees contingent on that revenue being made up. I'm going to skip to a table that would show if a transfer was made to the regulation fund, the fee decreases that would occur. For each tier of cultivator, the fee amounts are cut in half. And so for context here, outdoor cultivator tier 1 would be the smallest size of cultivator, and the tier corresponds to a certain amount of canopy coverage. And so each fee in this fee schedule would be cut roughly in half. And so that would add up to just shy of $105,000. And that was the amount that in the bill, in order for these fee reductions to come into effect, a transfer of the same amount would have to be made to the regulation fund. It's not part of the budget construct, so it seems very unlikely at this point, but commenting on that. And then, yes, you heard quite a bit. So glad experts talked about the definitional pieces and how the changing the definition of household income would change the calculation of property tax credits. The Department of Taxes did a lot of legwork on the estimate, so I want to thank them for that. However, we did review it and find consensus essentially, but this would have a minimal impact and like pretty minimal on both the education and offense. And then finally, potentially the most minimal thing I've commented on my time at JFO, but flagging it for you all is the part of the bill, Section 27, would allow cultivators to form cooperative corporations, and those pay a fee of $20 at incorporation or merger, and for $10 for amendments to those filings. It's just when they merge or when they start up. And so you would see $20 here and there from that specific provision. Yep.
Specifically.
If you could explain to me again when it talks about the $105,000.
Yeah.
If the General Assembly appropriates it from or transfers it from where? To the Cannabis Regulation Fund, but from where?
it doesn't specify, but it would, would be the logical source
Thank you.
for that money.
Any other questions for Ted? Anything else you want to tell us?
I think that is basically it. I'm going through the background and details section, but it provides context for some of the information in the, one additional piece is section 13 converts annual employee licenses of $50 and under current law to a 2-year license of $100. It doesn't change the amount of money that the control board would receive. It just overall long term, but it does change when the timing of those revenues. And so there are about 1,700 employees licensed by the control board. That's it. Mhm.
Thanks for your patience while we rescheduled you 5.
This next week will probably be crazy, so happy to. Yes, here.
Thanks, Ted. Have a good weekend.
James Pepler, Chair of the Cannabis Control Board. So just big picture, historically, the Cannabis Board, there's a miscellaneous cannabis bill every year. It's generally speaking, starts in the House and is just issues that the board has identified as either just oversights from the original legislation or addressing emerging issues. So mostly technical pieces. Throughout the process, usually some industry focused or market expansion ideas get tacked onto that bill. That didn't happen this year. This is an S bill started in Senate Economic Development as opposed to House Government Operations. So their focus is always just a little bit different than the Government Operations Committees. This really is, I was kind of pitched as a market expansion bill / with everything going on federally, we may see interstate commerce of cannabis products sooner than expected, possibly even as soon as this summer. So there was a desire in that committee also to start to harmonize some of the regulations between the various, at least New England states, the ones that share a common border with Vermont, because that would be most likely pathway for interstate commerce. So you see things like raising the amount of THC that can be in a single package. You see the section on raising the amount you can purchase in a single transaction. You see the section on the interstate compacts. And so there was a lot more in there. There was a delivery license that's been whittled down to what you see before you. And I think a lot of the first sections around transaction limits and per package potency allowances are also going to get cut by an amendment. We'll see. So.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
All right. Well, there is an amendment from the Human Services. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hard to tell what's going to go and what's not at this point. But essentially, there was only a small number of requests from the CCB in this bill. Section 12, there's a local licensing fee. It's $100 fee that we collect and remit to a local municipality that's hosting a cannabis establishment. We do that quarterly now. It's a bit burdensome to do that quarterly with the amount of licensees that we have. So we requested to make that an annual remittance. There was very little objection to that, and any of the committees that looked at this or any of the stakeholders that may be impacted. And then the only other thing that we asked for, we no longer have integrated licenses. I'm happy to kind of talk about what those are, but they appear in about 6 or 7 different sections of law. And so we just asked to have the term integrated license struck from all of the statutes, both the Title VII statutes and then the tax statutes that refer to them. So that, I mean, truly just a housekeeping measure. We did talk to Representative Byron about an amendment, but because there was a shift in who was handling the bill and they kind of got jammed up. He requested that I bring it here instead. I don't know if you guys have time for it. But essentially, one thing that we noticed that we didn't have, and now that we're potentially taking on hemp, we realize that the Secretary of Agriculture does have this authority and it makes a lot of sense to have it, is when we have someone who's not paying a administrative penalty that we've assessed, we have no real collection authority over that. And, you know, it'd be nice to have. I mean, essentially what could happen, especially if there is interstate commerce, is we could send an administrative penalty to a company and they could just not pay it and, you know, just reincorporate as someone else and try and just, you know, get out of paying an administrative penalty. So and we have a section of law about how an aggrieved party can appeal a decision of the board. It would make sense to maybe stick it in there. But
We don't have any attorneys here right now. I mean, you're an attorney, but you can't draft for us. So I think my preference would be to vote it out and then maybe we can do a floor amendment for you.
I'd send it to Tucker and then Sophie took
Yeah,
over.
no,
Yeah,
If you could forward it to me, that would be cool.
yeah, I will.
Okay. Let's for a moment focus on the bill and then we can talk about the amendment. If that's okay. I was just curious about the recommendation. You're having the cutting in half the tiered outdoor licenses fees. I wondered why, just not a criticism, just a curiosity. You cut each of them in half. Why you didn't do it on like a curve or some sort?
This was not a recommendation from us.
Oh,
I mean, there was a lot of testimony last year about reducing all the fees. Our role in that was really just helping JFO determine how much it would cost to do it. And then we were asked to write a report about it, and we kind of gave some analysis as to why you may want to cut outdoor cultivation fees, just given the relative profitability between an indoor and an outdoor cultivator. And I think there was a desire to not, I mean, just to make it simple.
sure.
So it wasn't all that well thought. I mean, other than the fact that we wrote an extensive report about it, it was more just a convenience
Right.
decision, I think.
Do the reduced fees work for you?
Oh, I mean, it furthers the gap between what our fees bring in and what our operating expenses are, which is always a sensitive subject in the appropriations committee. But it was also, I mean, as you can tell from our report, our fees, no matter how high they are not going to cover our operating expenses. And that's true of every single other cannabis regulatory authority. And it's just, it costs more to regulate the industry than you can charge in fees. So usually every other state but ours backfills that gap with cannabis excise tax revenue. We use general fund revenue, but you know, in some ways it's kind of one pocket or the other pocket, doesn't really matter. But you know, it will just kind of further highlight that it will further exacerbate that difference between what the fees bring in and what our budget is. But, you know, again, just the policy decision. And we think it'll be about $100,000 if you do this. This doesn't touch the mixed cultivators, which are primarily outdoor cultivators that have a little bit of indoor space. So that way, if you were to include them in this halving, if you just have the outdoor portion of their mixed tier, it would be $170,000. So.
They
Sorry.
would have to pay.
If you just, the mixed tier is just a mashing up of these outdoor fees that you see plus 1,000 square feet of indoor canopy. So you just take these fees and add the two fees together, and it would be an additional roughly $70,000 if you wanted to include the mixed tiers.
Do you ever compare, I mean, like small cultivator fees in Vermont as to what other states are charging?
Yes.
How do these fees compare?
It is in the report, which I will send to
Okay.
and it has a comparison of, I think, 10 other states. It's got charts and it's,
I'm sorry, I haven't.
yeah, no, I wouldn't expect you to. It's pretty dry. but
We know try.
Yeah.
How many people have been the ones who requested it?
yeah, we're a little bit higher on a per square foot basis.
Even at our smallest tier.
Our smallest tier is the most equal to our others, but you know, it just varies. I mean, people have different priorities when they set these fees. Every state does it a little bit different.
You did send a report, so.
You already sent it. Thank you.
Oh, great. I sent it a while ago. You know, it was
No,
directed to this committee, so I sent it to you guys back.
Someone else had a question for you about how something worked, and I don't remember what the question is.
It's, we require everyone have a deposit account, every licensee have one, and most debit cards work at the retail level, but everyone has at least a checking account, so they pay. I don't think the tax department accepts cash from cannabis businesses, so I think most people are paying with checks. Yeah.
Was your question about like inventory versus deposits? Or no? That's my question. I have a question about, like, do you do any sort of auditing of, or do you anticipate, or does the tax department, are you aware of
Tax
this?
department does a lot of auditing, yes, and then they send us kind of referrals for enforcement actions. I mean.
And I know how expensive being forced to be a like cash-ish business is for these businesses. Like, it's really, I don't think it's their preference.
Um,
Do you have another sentence you wanted to?
just the permit fees, that's squarely in this committee's jurisdiction. It's currently set at $500 with a 50-50 split between the town that's hosting the event and the Cannabis Control Board, so.
And did you have an opinion about that? You're about to?
It certainly is gonna cost us more than $250 to regulate them, but again, you know, we're gonna require that these events be insured. That insurance policy is likely gonna cost $5,000, from what I can tell, at a minimum. So if you actually want any of these things to happen, whether you want them to or not, you can't make them so expensive that no one's gonna do it. So I think for the sake of a pilot, I think it's certainly fine with us. And when we have to write a report about it, we can write a report about what it actually cost us to regulate this, to license it, to oversee it. And, you know, and then you can decide what the fee should be.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think, James, you answered the question, but I heard Chair say or imply that auditing cash businesses is difficult or expensive, something like that.
No, what I was saying was that running a cash business can actually be quite difficult and expensive.
Oh, okay. But auditing would also be pretty difficult, and I guess for that reason. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Either way. Good.
Anyone else have any questions for Pepper?
But I just want to point out, your
Yes.
report is proposal for fees and appropriations for fiscal year 2027 is on the legislative website.
Great.
It's quite extensive, so thank you. It's 23 pages in case anybody's bored.
Thank you very much, Pepper. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just send you that email with the possible amendment.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Does anyone need anything else for testimony on this? Okay, cool. In that case, I would appreciate a motion to find 278 favorable.
Sure, I would move that we find draft 2.1, amendment 2.1 to S278 favorable.
Thank you. It's not our amendment.
Sounds good,
but
then.
Version.
Version 2.1, isn't it?
I think it's the bill as we received it.
Yes.
Okay. Representative Kimball moves that we find S278 favorable. Is there any discussion? Yes, Representative Blake.
Chair Pepper, probably won't find this surprising, but I kind of used up my one cannabis vote last year. Matter of fact, on H321, I think I presented the Ways and Means. There's a number of issues that I don't support, so.
Okay. Is it one for biennium? Is that
Sorry?
one for biennium?
Who knows? It all depends on what it is, I guess.
Oh, okay. I like that frame for things. Anyone have else anything to say? Any more discussion? Great. Oh, yep.
I'm concerned about it going doubling, but for purposes of the content, this committee hasn't voted down.
You will vote.
I will vote yes.
Okay.
For this committee, but I'm concerned about the increase.
The dosage you're talking about?
Yes, I do not favor that, but that's for the floor.
Okay. I think people can just buy 2 packages.
Pardon?
Anyway, yeah, yes, we can agree to disagree on that, Representative Bodie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if the clerk please call the roll.
Sure.
Thanks.
Representative Brannigan.
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Is Representative Burkhart, Representative Higley,
Oh,
Representative Holcomb,
Yes.
Representative Kimball,
Yes.
Representative Maslin.
Yep.
Representative Odie,
Yes.
Representative Page is not here. Representative Wazazak,
Yes.
Representative Canfield,
Yes.
and Representative Kornheiser.
Yes.
We have voted about favorable 9-1-1.
911. Thank you, everyone. Representative Wazazak, can you work, please?
Yep.
Thank you. And then floor amendment. I already forgot what you said it was for, Pepper. Can you join us again? All right. Will you tell us what you want the amendment to be?
Oh, yes, I had it up on my laptop. It's a one line that just authorizes the board to seek a civil order to collect a fee. It's the exact same authority, or sorry, an administrative penalty. It's the exact same authority that the Secretary of Agriculture has currently for a lot of their administrative penalties. And it just, you've actually already granted us the, well, not yet. It's in the miscellaneous agriculture bill because you're moving a lot of Title VI over to Title VII around hemp. It's already included for hemp administrative penalties. So, but we just don't have it for cannabis. I think this would fall under the category of one of the original oversights in 2020 because this is a kind of well-established authority for agriculture. But, you know, we haven't, it's starting to become more relevant, especially when we may have out-of-state products and out-of-state companies moving things to the state. But I know it's very late in the session, so.
I know that this marketplace is one where regulation needs to happen really carefully, given sort of the still longstanding desire to bring people in from the illicit market, and folks who've previously been in the illicit market have, you know, different experiences of enforcement. And so I'm curious how you think the field will perceive this extension of authority.
Yes, I mean, what we've seen a few times is we've seen an area where someone's done something pretty egregious. We've imposed a penalty on them, and instead of paying the penalty, they've relinquished their license and just reverted back to the illicit market or something along those lines. So it'd be nice to have this authority just so that people aren't tempted to do something bad until they get caught and then just disappear. But you know, again, I recognize the legislative calendar.
I'm happy to put forward that amendment. I'd love to put, it would be a floor amendment, I think. Because we're going to submit this and then do that. Who would like to sign on to it?
Sure.
Should we discuss it first? Or questions for Pepper? Anyone?
Is it just a committee amendment?
I don't think we can do a committee amendment. It would just be all the committee members on the amendment.
Sure.
I know it's weird, but okay. Okay. Are you interested in amending it for penalties? Would you stay out of the whole thing? Okay. Okay, so everyone in favor of putting forward that amendment?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Thank you, Pepper.
Yes.
You'll send me the thing and I'll get it drafted.
Who's I can just send it to you.
Just send it to me and I'll figure that out. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What do you do?
Yeah, let's put down the, yeah.
Should have made him a mayor.
Not.
That would be fun.
Thank you, everyone, for staying till 4. Really appreciate